Russia, Russia again. Here we go with Russia. There's never been anybody so tough on Russia with the sanctions. Remember Obama would send pillows. I said tank busters right to Ukraine. I'm the one that exposed the pipeline with Germany. Germany pays them billions and billions of dollars, and then we're supposed to protect Germany from Russia. I said, how does that work? How does that work? You're spending billions of dollars for energy to Russia. It's all okay. I'm the one that exposed it. What I've done, hey, they don't want me to go, but if you look, they don't want me to win. Russia doesn't want. Maybe North Korea does, because I actually have a very good relationship with him. And if I got along with Putin, somebody said, he gets along well with Putin. I'm saying to myself, but isn't that sort of a good thing? Is that bad? He gets along with Putin. That's a bad thing. But, you know, you saw the head of the FBI yesterday started to go, Russia, Russia's looking at our election, Russia. Here we go again, Russia, Russia, Russia. I said, what about China? What about North Korea? What about Iran? What about, they don't mention anybody else. The narrative seems to be Russia. Millions of phone calls made, not one to Russia. Millions of phone calls received, not one to Russia. Then he goes, Russia, Russia. Then they asked him about Antifa. What do you think about Antifa? Well, it's an ideology. I said, no, it's not ideology. It's a bunch of thugs and anarchists that are being funded by somebody, and find out who the somebody is. It's unbelievable, unbelievable when you look at this stuff. But seriously, take a look at the AOC. I call it AOC plus 3. You know, her 3 people that she tells what to do. And $2 million, dresses, rent, other things. You're not supposed to do that. Mr. Congressman, are you allowed to do that, sir? You don't do that. You don't buy dresses, do you? If he does, that's the end of his career, right? No, but it's terrible, right, Tom? I mean, it's terrible. Well, prosecute him. I mean, yeah, why not? I don't understand it. I'll tell you what. You know, a friend of mine, a very sophisticated guy, very successful guy, called me up. He says, you know, from the day you came down the escalator with our great First Lady, future First Lady, said from that day, oh, people love her. She gave a great speech at the Republican National Convention at the White House. She gave a great speech. But said from the day you came down the escalator with our First Lady, from the single day, you've been under investigation. You've been under investigation by sleazebags. People that now we caught cleaned up their phones. You're not allowed to do that, right, Mr. Congressman? My great hockey player, you're the greatest, right? But you're not allowed to do that. You know, we want their phones. Oh, here they are. Oh, by the way, they happen to be totally deleted, like Hillary with the 33,000 emails. She deleted them. I think they should look at that. You know, even if they don't find them, and I do believe they're in the State Department, I do believe they're in the FBI.
WikiLeaks.
I do believe they're in the FBI, but even if you forget about them, you know, she said she had 33,000 emails, and the emails were for her yoga lessons. Now, you know, she's not big into yoga, I can tell you. If she is, she's not getting her money's worth. Her yoga lessons and her daughter's wedding, right? So it's about the wedding and the yoga lessons. So I said, okay, let's give her 5 or 6 each. What do you think, Mike? 5 or 6 each. 5 for the wedding. Make it 30, make it 100, make it 1,000. 1,000 for the wedding. And for the yoga, let's give her 200. Okay? What about all those thousands and thousands of emails, probably classified? So Congress, so forget about it. Let's assume they're gone because she deleted them and then she acid washed them. And then she hit her phones with a hammer. I get rid of phones. I've never hit them with a hammer, not even as president. I say, here, throw the phone away. No, I've never hit a phone. Has anybody ever gotten rid of your phone and taken a hammer and wiped the hell out of it? I don't think so. So she gets a subpoena from the U.S. Congress, not in a lawsuit against some guy that hates you and you're fighting or something. By the way, you do that, you got problems in court, big problems. But she gets a subpoena from Congress. U.S. subpoena, the most important subpoena you can get. they get the subpoena, and after she gets the subpoena, by a few days, everything is deleted. Her phones are busted up and cleaned and wiped, and everything's gone. And nothing happens to her. Forget about what was on. No, think of how angry it makes me when I see it. No, how angry. Could you imagine if I do that? It's a whole different ballgame. No, how angry it makes me when I see it. And, you know, we had an attorney general that didn't have a clue. That was my fault. I was loyal to somebody. He endorsed me early. You know why he endorsed me? Because I went to Mobile, Alabama. We had 55,000 people show up at a stadium. He said, I'd like to endorse you. Then after we won, he said, I'd love to be attorney general. And I said, no, I don't think so. I mean, but after 4 or 5 times asking, I'm a loyal person. And I did it. The mistake sometimes you make is because of loyalty, but that's okay. But allowed her to get away with that is a disgrace. It's a disgrace. Maybe there's something they can do. So forget about looking for the emails, and they are available, and I guarantee they're in the State Department. I guarantee you they're in the State Department, that they ought to damn well find them. They're being protected in the State Department. But forget about that. Almost as good is the fact that you're not allowed to do what she did, and her lawyers should pay, Kendall should pay equal consequence, equal. But that's the way it is, and but we are making a lot of progress if you see what's going on. You know, I said to myself, I'm going to stay uninvolved. I don't have to. Chief law enforcement officer, can you believe it? But I think it's better if I stay uninvolved, and I have stayed uninvolved, and we do have an excellent Attorney General, Bill Barr. I'll be honest, he's a smart guy. I think he's getting tougher and tougher and tougher every day. I think he's not going to put up with this stuff. I don't think. And, you know, he's got a lot of people that are deep staters, whatever you want to call them, and they fight him at every turn. They fight him. But he's getting tougher and tougher. I watched over the last 3 days. I'm saying, wow, that's sort of what we're all waiting for, right? But she deletes her emails. AOC gets rid of $2 million. $2 million, gets rid of it. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. And then she goes around and calls us all like, what the hell are we? And she controls Nancy Pelosi. Actually, Nancy Pelosi would love to get rid of her, I think, you know, because Pelosi. How about Pelosi? How about that? How about Pelosi? Pelosi goes out and says, you know, I think I have my hair done. So she goes out and she goes into this beauty parlor. I told the story in Wisconsin last night. By the way, we had a great crowd in Wisconsin. You know, you have a feeling about places. You know, the problem with Minnesota is that I think since 1972, this hasn't been won by a Republican. So, you know, you're a little behind the 8 ball when you hear that, right? I mean, I can understand. And Wisconsin rarely, but I won Wisconsin, unlike Minnesota. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you. Now, unlike Minnesota, but it's my fault. So I had one speech left. It started at 1 in the morning. I went to Michigan. We won Michigan. That was another one. Great state. We brought back so many auto companies into Michigan. We brought them back. But I had one. They had one. It was already voting day. It was election day, because by the time I got there, it was just scheduled. Had I made that one damn stop to your state, we would have won Minnesota. I lost by, what, a half a point? Half a point!
No paper towel!
But I get up the
Fuck!
They said he's in Minnesota. He's down 9. The recent poll, down 9.
What?
I believe it's a suppression poll. And you know, I'm good at, I have an instinct about things, pretty much. Somebody said Trump has the greatest political instincts of the last 100 years. One of my enemies said that. And I said, no, I don't. I don't believe I do. I think I have lousy political instincts, but what am I going to tell you? Let me just tell you, they said that. And I was very impressed by the statement. In fact, I went to my wife.